Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here to learn more about CareerEco and prepare for the upcoming virtual career fair at CMU from September 14 to 16. This year, we're really excited to be partnering with CMU's Career and Professional Development Center, CPDC, and our Silicon Valley campus to bring together three of our fall career fairs, the TOC, Technical Opportunities Conference, Encompass, and Converge Silicon Valley into one great event. My name is Megan Akita, and I am a sophomore studying electrical and computer engineering.
And I'm Tanvi, and I'm a junior studying electrical and computer engineering as well. We're the TOC co-directors and have been working with Kelly McQuaid, a staff member in the College of Engineering, to lead a student planning group made up of a corporate relations and campus relations committee. Our team of 15 people has been working hard to plan the career fair and make it worthwhile for all of you and the recruiters. So if anyone has questions throughout the demonstration, please put them in the Q&A section and we will try to answer as many of them as we can during the presentation, and then there will be a Q&A section at the end.
We'll also be recording this session in case you want to send it to anyone who missed the session or if you want to go back and watch it. And hopefully within a day or two, the session will be available on the CMU CPDC YouTube page. And now to kick off the demo, we have Emma Brigette, Christina Van Dewater, and Pamela Leigh Miller from CareerEco.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited to have all of you as we go through this demo and Q&A. So like we just discussed, we'll go over what you see on your site and how you can get set up and prepared for the fair. We'll go through what a chat looks like, and then we'll go ahead and address any questions that you may have. So right now you're looking at a sample fair rather than the Carnegie Mellon Fair as we go ahead and do this presentation. But for your reference, when you log into your account, you'll see the Carnegie Mellon Fair. And you'll see that on your main event dashboard that is listed here. First, I want to start off what you can go ahead and upload to get ready for the event. So next to your name at the top right, you'll see that you have an edit profile. When you click on this, this is where you can go in to add certain documents to help prepare you for the fair. The first tab that we're in shows your personal details, and this is where you can update and change your name if you'd like, or any information listed below. You can include languages here, and all of this information will be readily available to employers. You can also include additional information in regards to your social media, whether it be your LinkedIn, Instagram, profile, etc. Again, all of this is accessible to employers. If you don't want to share your resume or contact information with any of the participating organizations, you can do so by scrolling all the way down, and there will be a button at the bottom of the page where you can go ahead and check this off. Okay? If you scroll to the top, you'll see that your education is listed here. And if you'd like to update any of that information, you can do so by clicking on this button. When you registered, you had to include this information already, but if you have a different degree that you would like to add, in addition to, let's say, your bachelor's, you could go ahead and, again, add school info, include that information for Carnegie Mellon. To upload additional documents, we'll click on resume/documents, and this is where you have the option to upload your resume, your cover letter, any reference letters you have, or transcripts. You can upload more than one resume or cover letter if you'd like. Just select as many files as you would like. So again, you'd click on this button and you'd be able to upload your resume and select a specific file. When you upload, you can upload, as it says here, any sort of these documents listed, and it will automatically convert into a PDF for the employers to view. You might have noticed if you haven't uploaded your resume, then you would have received email notifications pushing you to do so. Make sure that you get these up because this will make you more viewable to the employers. Employers can sort you based on if you've uploaded a resume. So you'll just want to make sure that as soon as possible you can get that uploaded. You can also upload portfolio samples by clicking on portfolio samples. And again, it's as simple as clicking on upload file and selecting a file from your computer. Please note, it says here in the right, but it can only be up to 50 megabytes in size. So just keep that noted when you're uploading your file. And then you can also update your email preferences in addition to adding these various documents. And you would go here and select what you would like to receive in emails and what you would not. And you can check that out here, and then you would save your preferences. Okay. Do we have any questions so far on any of the information that you can upload to the site? If not, we can keep on going, but just while we're here.
I think we're all good. You can keep on going, Emma.
Okay, great. If we go to the job board at the top of the screen, this is where you can go to see any information that, or any jobs that employers have posted for the event. So you can search by specific organizations, job titles, locations, skills as listed here. And you also can click on details to the right, and this will provide you with more information around what the organizations have uploaded for the event. And this is where you would go, you know, if you're doing your research on these employers, which you have access to ahead of time, obviously this is a great way to figure out if the positions that the organization have posted are the right fit for you. If you want to see just positions that by the organizations and the fairs you're in, you can do so by clicking on this button here. Otherwise, you're going to see job postings dependent on what employers want to share, but you could see them from other organizations that are attending different events. So you just want to select that here, and then this is only for the fairs that you are attending. Okay. If we go to the messages board at the top, this is where you'll go to see any messages that employers have sent to you ahead of the event. So if an employer wants to reach out to you to schedule a one-on-one meeting with you, they would come to the message board, send it to you, and then you would receive this message. You can click on a message and you can see who it's from, the subject, and obviously what they're inviting you to do. So in this case, they're letting you know that between 10 and 2, they'd like you to stop past their chat room. And they can be various different messages. And in some cases, employers will give you the option to also reply back to their message. And Christina's hovering over it now. This is a case where you'd be able to reply. And for instance, you'd reply if they're trying to schedule a one-on-one chat session with you. Again, and then in here is where there's already, above this message, you could type your response to the employer. If you would like to attend their one-on-one chat session, you could do so by typing above and then clicking send. Thank you, Christina. And then to keep track of messages that you've responded to, you'll see that there's a tab next to the inbox that says sent, and these are all your messages that have gone out to the employers. In this case, it's none. Okay, if we go back to the event list, which is where you'll initially come in when you log in to your account, we can view a list of participating organizations. So this is how we'll be able, or you as students will be able to see all of the organizations that are participating in the event. So if we go ahead and click on it, for the sample event, these are the organizations that are participating. And in your case, you all would be able to see specific majors that they selected, that they were recruiting for, degrees that they were recruiting for, etc. And if you click on the organization name, so for this one, we can do sample organization. You'll see that this is the profile that they've set up, where they've provided an about section of their organization. You'll see types of positions that they've posted again. So this case, they're looking for part-time and co-op, their chat times, education that's required. And again, these were all varied dependent on their registration questions for the event, but this is where you can find more information. And then an important part is their website and contact info that they provided. So some organizations will, provide their point of contact for their organization for you to reach out to if you'd like, and you could do so by looking here. You'll also see at the top of some of their profiles that they've not only provided a website, but also their career website. And this is where you'd be able to check out more of their career opportunities if they were not listed in the job postings. If we also went back to the About section of their profile, you have the option here to let an organization know that you're interested in learning more. On their end, they'll be able to see that you've expressed interest in their organization. So this is a little way for you to give a little bit of initiative and let them know that you've done their research on their organization and you're interested in talking more with them. And this may result in them inviting you to a one-on-one chat session. If we exit out of here, you'll see that this is also an option listed on the table here. You can also express interest. You can also view the chat schedules by clicking on the chat schedule tab up at the top. And this is a little bit more extensive because it has more listed on different dates because of how the sample's set up. But for you all, it will just be one date of their chat room set up. And if you want to add the chat time to your calendar, you can do so by clicking on Add to Calendar so that you know, or you have a reminder on your calendar of the chat time for a specific organization you'd like to chat with. Any questions so far? Because otherwise we can head into a chat room so that you can see a live chat between a candidate and an employer.
Awesome. We do have a few questions in the chat.
Sure, please, let's do them.
Is there a way to sort the positions in the job board by full-time versus internship?
So if we go back, Christina, can you go back to the sorting options? So you can do it by location and skills, and then you can see that the job titles or the types are listed in the panel below. But these are what you can filter by: organization, job title, location, and skills.
All right, and then for the upload cover letter, is that for specific companies or a general cover letter?
It would be likely for just a general cover letter. These employers aren't necessarily requiring them. If an organization, you know, asks for one, you can upload it, but otherwise all of these organizations have access to your cover letter. So it's probably best to just do a more general cover letter.
Okay, what is the difference between job board and the job postings that can be seen in the company's profiles when clicking on event details?
They're the same. So whatever job postings that we just saw in their profile will also pop up on this job board. They're just, all of the organization's job postings are listed here.
Hey, Emma, this is Pamela.
Sure.
Talking about sorting, you know, on the sample fair, they did not collect upon registration when the employers registered the position types, but however, Carnegie is collecting that and it would be sortable for their event. So
Perfect.
in the criteria, so the different position types, co-ops, fellowship, full-time, etc., will be, you'll see that on your dashboards for your event.
Thanks, Pamela.
Sure.
So one more, do we have to individually register for each company in order to have a conversation regarding open positions?
So you won't have to register with any of the organizations. If you're interested talking with an organization about a job posting, you can express interest in them, or you can also just head to their chat room on event day and you'd be able to initiate a private chat with them if you'd like to talk further with them about a job posting.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Last question, should we check off show positions posted by organizations in My Fairs to limit it to companies at the fair?
Yeah, I would limit it to what they're just posting for the event so that you know which organizations to talk with. Because like I said, this will only show up for the event that you're registered for. And so if you want to do your homework on the organizations that are participating in the event, then this is a good way to do it.
Awesome. And then a lot of the questions are on chat room, so I think we can go ahead and keep going.
Okay. So Christina, I will go in as my employer.
Perfect. And I'm going to enter right here from that main candidate dashboard. I'm just going to click on chat now. And initially when I enter, I'm going to see this list of rooms here.
And we'll go into connect with current employers.
Yep. So this would be the employers that you would see. And so this is the one that I'm going to choose to enter.
Okay, so now you'll see from Christina's viewpoint that there is IT recruiter Bob, which is myself in this case, and then you'll see Hope candidate, which is Christina, listed below. So as Christina comes in, you will be entered through this main chat room and everybody can see chatting going on in this room. So if Christina, or sorry, Hope in this case, were to say hello, the message would show up for all recruiters and all of the candidates in here to see. And then I, as an employer, could respond back in the main chat room. Like I said, if you were interested in talking with an employer about a specific job posting and you wanted to initiate a private chat, you could do so by clicking on the blue down arrow here and then invite to private chat. And by doing that, you'll start a private chat with Bob Smith, which you see that we have done a few times before in these practice sessions. As an employer, I'll then receive a notification that you have chatted back with me, and then I can go ahead and respond to you in the private chat. So. Okay. You also have the option, if you would like, that employers will have the option to start a private video chat with you. So if you guys are hitting it off in the chat and you'd like to have a one-on-one video, I, as an employer, can initiate that, and then you as a candidate would accept or deny it if you do not want to be on video. Also, as a candidate, if you're in the main chat room, employers can be on video. So there might be 3 employers on video at one time with you. And then you can ask questions within the main chat room if you have any, but within the main chat room, you won't be able to be on video. Okay. You can see at the top too, so you can oh, someone else just joined. You can toggle between chat rooms as well, and that's at the top. If you're in one organization, you could be here, and if you want to go to another one, you would go here.
All right, we have a couple questions.
Sure.
So will adding to calendar add us to a one-on-one chat space with a recruiter, or is it a group chat space?
So when you add something to your calendar, it's just as a reminder for you that that chat time is occurring with a specific organization. It won't schedule a time with you in that organization. So if you want to talk to a specific organization, you just need to come to that chat room at a specific time. And then you could initiate a private chat.
Awesome. How are queues going to be handled in the chat room? Will you be able to queue up in multiple chat rooms?
So when you say queue, so when there's a limit to the number of candidates that can be in a room, and then when you enter into the room, you'll come to the top of this chat participant list. And then if there's, multiple candidates chatting in the main room at one time, that's up for the organizations to handle how they'll manage the candidates chatting. If that helps to answer your question, I don't know if that's what you're looking for. Let me know if I answered that correctly, or if you're referring to something else.
Another question was, can you schedule chat before the fair?
So there's no scheduling if on either end. So just remember that if the only, scheduling that would happen is if an employer invites you to come to their room at a specific time. And if you agree to come to their chat room at a specific time, then you would just, again, make sure that you join that specific chat room, and then either you initiate the private chat or the recruiter initiates the private chat with you.
This is Pamela again. Just a comment about that is that the employer would know that if they've already communicated with you, they can have an indicator they put on your file. So when you come into the chat room, that would show up next to your name, and it's a little like gold circle kind of thing. And so they would see that and know that you're a candidate they already have interest in, and normally take you up on that. But like Emma said, the system doesn't control any scheduling. It'd really be between you and the employer, like she said.
Awesome, thank you. And then another question that people are having is, how will the chat rooms work for popular companies like Google, where there's a lot of students? And will there be a queue that students get put in for private chats in this scenario?
Gotcha. So there's only a certain amount of candidates that can be in a room at one time. So if you try to enter a room and it's full, it won't let you enter the room. And in that case, you have the option to go to other chat rooms that are listed from different organizations. And then you could come back to that organization's chat room. Let's say it's Google that you're interested in, to have, to begin chatting with them. employers can set themselves as busy. So if you're initiating a private chat with an employer and they're not getting back to you and they've marked themselves as busy, then you would know why, and it's because they're fielding questions among students. And then, as I also said, because you can switch and go through different chat rooms, you won't have to quote unquote wait in line and not be able to go elsewhere, because you can toggle back and forth between two chat rooms.
All right, great. And how do we get to one-on-one chat versus group chat space?
Sure, so when you first came into the room, if we closed out this, I'll close it out. But when we first came in, you're automatically entered into a main chat room with all of the candidates. And if you want to initiate a private chat, if let's say the recruiter is not initiating one with you, you click on this blue arrow next to their name and you can invite them to private chat. If they invite you to private chat, like if I initiate it with host and send a note, then you as a candidate will get a notification that a private chat has initiated, and you can click here to begin that private chat.
Okay, and then last one for now, how many chat rooms can we be in at the same time?
So yeah, you can be in two, and you would see it at the top, these two tabs. They're both listed as sample organization, but you'd go back between these two.
Awesome, thank you. You can go ahead and keep going.
Okay. So when you enter into a chat room too, in the main chat room, they'll have a welcome message, and some employers will include links to different various sites that they may want to point out, and you would access that up here, or they might just be welcoming you to their page, but there will always be a welcome message at the top of the site. To the left, it would be their company logo. Right now it's ours in this top left corner, but you'll notice underneath that their profile and files that they've listed, and then any social media are listed here. So again, this is another space where you can access their profile. So maybe you didn't get to look them over ahead of the event, but you can do so when you enter into their chat room and read up more about them. And this will help so you can ask, specific postings. If you see a job posting and you have more questions about it, you can review their profile first and then ask it in this main chat room. Sometimes companies will upload specific files that they'd like you to look over when you get into the chat room, just as if you're in a live event and they hand out pamphlets, they're available for you in the chat room. So you would just click on this green arrow here, and that would help you to download whatever file they uploaded for you to review. Okay. And then again, there are their social media links. So you'd click on those and it would take you to their social media. If we go up towards the top right, just some things that you can note, there's a need help button. So at the top and this orange button, if you click on this, this will bring you to our help phone number as well as an email, and then it will automatically will be staffed that day if you need any assistance with the chat rooms, and then view tutorials. So if you need to refresh yourself on any of the chat room information, there's tutorials here as well for you to look at. And if you're having audio issues from the employer, there's that below. There is a chat icon button, which is kind of what I was saying earlier, is when employers set themselves to busy. So if you see any of these, it's like a little key for you to know what each of these little icons mean. And then another important feature in the chat room is the sound button, which is next to the online button, and this is how you can manage sound preferences. So if you don't want any sounds displaying while you're in the room, you can look through these sections here to edit those. So these are really all of the main features within the chat room, unless Christina or Pamela have anything in addition to say. So if you all have more questions that you'd like to go over about the fair, then we can go ahead and address them. But first, Christina and Pamela, I don't know if you want to touch base on anything I might have missed or you think is important to go over.
I don't think I have anything. I think you did great with that. Pamela.
All right. So we can go ahead and continue to take more questions, whether it be the chat room, job postings.
Awesome.
Anything, we can go ahead and take them.
Cool. Okay, so Emma, when we were switching back and forth between chat rooms, will we know when we get a message notification from another organization whose page I don't have open? And if so, where will the notification show up?
So there will be a number next to the organization listed at the top, and you'll be able to, yes, toggle and see when if it were a private chat message.
Okay. And is the only way to get a one-on-one chat with a recruiter if we contact them in advance or they reach out to us?
No. So even if they don't reach out to you or you don't reach out to them, you'll always have this option to initiate a private chat, and they will always have the option to initiate a private chat with you as well.
Okay. Can we join a chat room again if we had to leave it in between to enter another chat room?
Yeah, absolutely. So if it's within the organization's chat times, you're able to join that chat room whenever. It won't stop you from entering the chat room again.
What happens if a company has 5 representatives in the main room, but 50 students in the main room all want to talk to them privately? Because this is something that a lot of students have expressed concern about.
So that's up for how the employers are able to manage that. We don't restrict the number of private chat rooms that employers can have with candidates. So however they can best manage that, but you won't be stopped from having a private chat if you want to initiate one. It's just whether or not that employer is busy with the number of candidates. But again, they can note that by clicking on busy or managing it. So because employers have the option to have 3 videos up at one time, this helps them field questions faster so that they're not constantly typing into the main chat room, like literally typing. So that helps to fill in questions. But again, yeah, it is up to how the employer is able to best manage one-on-one chats.
And then what's the max capacity for a chat room? And then if it's full, is there a queue to get into popular chat rooms, or do we have to just continuously try to enter it?
So yeah, unfortunately, there's no notification that will let you know when a chat room has reopened. So you will have to go back and check when or if the chat room is not at capacity, and you won't be able to see if that capacity has been reached. It will just alert you that you can't enter this chat room.
And when we switch between 2 organizations, will the employers know that we're switching between organizations?
So they will, if they have their noise on, they'll receive a knocking noise when you've entered into a chat room. And then if you leave, they'll see that you you're obviously gone under this participant chat where they're all listed. So yes, they will know when you've left the chat.
What is the difference between the express interest option versus the invite to chat option?
So the expressed interest is just you letting them know again that you're interested in their organization, and on their side they'll be able to see all of the candidates that have expressed interest in them. But when you're inviting them to chat, you're inviting them into a private chat, which is down here in this split screen. So one is just letting them know you're interested, and the other is actually initiating a chat with them.
Okay. And if a recruiter invites me for a private chat or video call, but I'm busy with another recruiter, what would happen?
So recruiters know when you are speaking with another recruiter. So they'll see on their end that their recruiter is in a private chat with a candidate already. But again, you'll just get a notification that a recruiter has initiated a private chat, and you can go back and forth between the two recruiters, but they should be keeping track that one of their recruiters is in a private chat with you.
Are the messages private with the employer, or can anyone see them in the group chat?
When you're in the group chat or the main chat room and you're sending messages, anybody can see them. So right now you'll see that there's me, Hope Candidate, and James C, and we're both typing, and we can both see each other's chats right now.
What if you send a message to a recruiter in private when they're offline and then they reply after they're online? How do notifications work if one of you is offline, basically?
So if you sent a note to a recruiter when they were offline, and then you came back later and they responded to you, you wouldn't have a notification. But you could come back to the chat room at any time throughout the day of the event if the chat room hasn't been closed out, to see if that employer has responded to you. But you won't receive a notification.
Outside of CareerEco. Okay.
Are the employers chatting privately with multiple people at the same time, or is it strictly one-on-one?
They have the option to private chat with multiple candidates at one time.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, along those lines though, if they want to do a video chat, a video private chat where they're on video and the candidate's on video, they can only do one of those at a time, obviously. But they can be text chatting with as many as they can handle.
Can you tell whether or not an employer wants us to apply for their positions before the fair?
You would only know if the employer communicated that to you through messages. But there would be another way.
Can we test the audio/video feature on CareerEco ahead of time?
So you can enter the chat room, yes, and practice your audio and video ahead of time. But you won't be able to send any chats or anything because no one will be online. But yes, test it out.
In the career fair details page, you can check the boxes for companies that you're interested in. Is there a page where you can see all the companies you've checked?
You would have to, it would show when you look at the few organizations, yeah, and then it would show all the ones that you've checked there. So when you're in a main event dashboard and it says view list of organizations, once you click on that, it will show all the ones that you've checked.
Awesome. If we leave a message for recruiters in their private chat, leave the chat room because they didn't reply, and then come back after some time to check, would my previous chats and messages from the recruiters still be there? Or will I get any notifications in case they reply when I'm not in the chat room?
So you won't get any notification that they've responded back to you, but you'll be able to see the chats that have gone on throughout the day, and you can see their messages as long as the employer hasn't exited out of that chat room and they've left it to stay open.
Great. Is there any CareerEco notification if an employer would like to initiate a private chat after your request, because there may be a delay between your request and an employer's response?
So yeah, there's no notifications, but if you send a message and you have another chat room up with a different organization, you can always go to that chat room and toggle back and forth. So where we were previously, again, I could be in this chat room while I wait on the recruiter from the other chat room to respond back to me, and there will be, numbers. If they respond back to me, then I would get a little number notification. But if I go back into the main chat room, where I can see all the listed chats, then I wouldn't be able to, if that makes sense.
There's a lot of questions about the video component. Can you reiterate how to get into a video with an employer, and if there's a strict time limit, and then also if the video chat requires special browser extensions?
So there's not a time limit on the video session that you can have, but the employer does have to initiate the video, and you have to accept it. You can't initiate a video with the employer like you can in a private chat. And then what was the second question? I'm sorry.
If you need any extensions.
Oh, you should just be on Firefox or Google Chrome to use any of our broadcasting options.
And since everyone's in the same public chat, how do you know if the recruiter is talking to you versus someone else?
So one, dependent on if your questions are similar and different. So if your questions are the same, then you wouldn't know unless they address your name specifically. But if you're asking different questions, that would be a way to differentiate it. But they are likely just gonna address your name so that you know the question's being referred to you.
Hey, Emma, this is Pamela again. I saw a really neat setup where an employer, up to 3 of those recruiters can broadcast at the same time into the main room. And they had 2 of them on video, and they were on video answering the questions that were being typed in by the students in the chat. So it was a bit of a conversation, and that way they could say, well, Susan, and answer your question about XYZ. And it was a nice interaction. So some of the employers do things like that as well. It's not all, flat texting back and forth.
All right, and we have a lot of questions about demoing audio and video chats, if that's possible.
Yeah, so I just wanted to, so you can go into the chat room ahead of time, and sorry to be confusing, ahead of time, but since you can't initiate any broadcasting media, then you wouldn't be able to test this out, because again, when the employer does a one-on-one chat with you, they're initiating the video and then you'd have to accept it. So you can go into the chat room ahead of time, but you wouldn't be able to test out any video/audio.
Does the chat feature allow copy and paste in the messages field?
Like if you want to save all of the chats, or you just want to?
I think just if they want to copy and paste one message, like a multiple times.
I believe, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'm assuming that's
try it out now. Yes, you can copy and paste as many messages as you would like.
Will recruiter info be available to contact later?
So not all recruiters put contacts in their profiles like we were showing earlier, but if they did, you would go to their profile and then they would have a point of contact in their web and contact info. And that's who you could reach out to after the event if this is something they've included.
Awesome. And then this question might be geared more towards Sean, but how would you suggest making an elevator pitch in the group message space?
So in terms of introducing yourself to an employer, I would try to find something that would make you stand out. You know, that might be something that you might want to work on with one of the career consultants that we have at the CPDC. Just because you're going to have a lot of students coming in and they're going to be saying, hi, my name is blank and I'm this major. So maybe coming up with something that's a little bit more colorful, maybe helps you stand out a little bit more, and also to the point of what you're looking to kind of someone to speak with, or what you're looking to get out of that conversation. So that would be my best opinion, but feel free to connect with someone from our office. They'll be able to help you with that.
Great. And similarly, is there any expected etiquette about requesting one-on-one chats? Can we request one as soon as we're going to enter a company's room if we know that we're interested in them?
Yes, as soon as you get in, you can go ahead and initiate a private chat.
Great.
And then this question's also a little bit more specific, but if the employer says does not sponsor work authorization, does OPT/CPT still allow the international student to work? This also might be a Sean question.
I was gonna say, I'm not.
Yeah, so it all depends. Some of the employers will say not able to sponsor work authorization. If that's the case, most likely they're unable to take CPT or OPT. But that could, you know, like I said, you might need to reach out to the employer and ask that as well, because some will have that selected, but maybe they might interpret it as not able to sponsor an H-1B, but they still might be able to, let's say, work with students on CPT or OPT. So like I said, it might be a good opportunity to kind of research that a little bit ahead of time, or during the fair, ask that question.
Right. And our final open question, actually, if we close a chat room tab for a company and open a tab again for that company later, would our previous chats still be accessible? I guess people need a final answer on that.
Okay, so if we're back in the tab, if we go back to the chat room and we have these two tabs up, and let's say I write to Bob, which I will do. Hello, Bob. Or sorry, I'm Bob, so you write to me. Okay, and then maybe we do it in a private chat too. So I'll say hello to Hope again.
Yeah, and I think the history of your private chats came up in the private chat. So the yes is the answer to that question.
So,
yeah, it does stay.
So it will stay, and then you'll go back to, if we just went to the other sample organization though, just to show them. And then this is a different room that you all are in. And then you've done all your chatting, let's say, and then we go back to sample organization. It will all be here. And you can see that now Bob has responded and with an improper spelling.
A few more questions are coming in. Is there a place where we can see whether a company provides work sponsorship?
Yeah, so it's filterable, and
Yeah,
it's,
not listed on this particular
yeah,
event, but it would come up here too.
right. It would be filterable. Well, you could look at it, yes, here, and then
Yeah.
at the top of the screen here, you'd be able to filter it as well. But that's just not one of the questions for the sample fair, but it will be for your event.
All right, so I think that wraps up the questions. Any last ones coming in?
I think we're okay for now. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and the recording will be available, like we said, on YouTube, on the CPDC YouTube within the next day or so, if you want to rewatch anything. And I believe there's also CareerEco tutorials.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in doing some additional training past this, you all will have access to this instructions button towards the top of your screen. And if you click on this, there are PDFs and video tutorials for you all to check out involving chat rooms and more about the event dashboard.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
thank you.